Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is July 31st, 2025. We've come to you live every weekday morning since March 18th, 2020. That's almost 5.5 years of Torah every single day, of finding each other. So we can say good morning to people like Susie and Penny and Rabbi Eric Wasser and Cynthia. Penny, thank you. It's broadcast 1357. It's good to see all of you. John, and Larry, Lydia, Tara, Siona, Judy and Amy, Boker Tov, Michelle, it's good to see you. Hi, Debbie. Hope that you are well. Cynthia, good to see you. Catherine, sending love to Australia. Jonathan and Ron, Arlene, Boker Tov. It's good to see everyone. Adrian and Penny on both screens now. Barbara, Boker Tov. Boker Tov, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Hi, Michael. Let's take a breath. We're going to sing a bracha and learn some Torah. Sandy and Ellen, Linda, it's good to see you. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Marion, welcome for the first time to our community. It's good to have you here. And Amy, hope that the corrective knee surgery goes well. Friends, there's a lot to share. I want to dedicate today's Torah again to the memory of Wesley Lepatner. Her funeral is today. And if any of you are connected with colleagues, professional colleagues, volunteer colleagues at UJA, today would be a good day to reach out to them and offer them some comfort. There's a lot of sadness in our community. As you all know, Wesley was one of 4 people who was killed in a shooting in New York City. And I bring it up again because our attention span as a community is often easily distractible. That's usually how we are. And given the Talmud's wisdom that we often forget our old problems because we have new ones, I don't want to dismiss something that just happened. And so please, let's bless the memory of Wesley. Let's support her family primarily, and let's try to take care of our UJA community too. If any of you are connected, please, friends, give her memory the honor it deserves by reaching out to those she loved. There is a tremendous amount in our parsha to talk about, and we are in the 9 days leading up to Tisha B'Av. I thought I'd look at one part of the Torah portion today. It's just 2 verses. Chapter 1 of the book of Deuteronomy. I'll be looking at verses 16 and 17. Before I read them out loud, remember the context. Here we are in a second telling of our history. This one is Moshe's tzavta in English, an ethical will to the people. He's not quite remembering history objectively. He's telling it the way he remembers it, and therefore showing us the lessons he thinks that we need to emphasize, that we need to maintain, especially when he won't be there. So, here are the verses. What does he choose to emphasize? V'atzaveh et shoftechem ba'et hahi lemor. I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear out your fellow Israelites and decide justly between one party and the other, be it a fellow Israelite or a stranger. So that first verse, verse 16, says, hear the cases and treat everyone equally, whether they're a citizen or not. You shall not be partial in judgment, hear out low and high alike. Fear neither party, for judgment is God's. And any matter that is too difficult for you, you shall bring to me, and I will hear it. This sounds a lot like the advice that Moshe got in the book of Exodus, around chapter 19, from his father-in-law, from Yitro, who said, you can't do this all alone, delegate authority. So one of the lessons we take from these two verses is the necessity of understanding yourself, if you serve as a leader, as insufficient to every task. You can't be the only one who responds. That's why in America and in other systems, we have something called the appellate system, and we also delegate authority. That's the design of our constitutional democracy. But what's interesting too in these verses is not only the emphasis on delegation, it is also to treat people with justice, whether they have a lot, whether they have a little, whether they are full citizens, and even if they're not. It's fascinating to think about why Moshe prioritizes this. And it makes sense to me that Moshe, in this position that he is in, knowing that these will be his last words to his people, a people he has led for 2 generations through rebellion after rebellion, hardship after hardship in the desert, from being an enslaved people to a strong enough people to occupy our own home. It is very powerful to hear these words from him and then to wonder about them. And so I turned to a teacher of mine, Rabbi Joseph Telushkin. You might have his books on your shelf. He is a wonderful, wonderful teacher of Torah. And he says, it's surprising, this is Rabbi Telushkin's language, it's surprising that at so dramatic a juncture, Moses' remarks focus so much attention on an issue that applies to a small percentage of the population, the creation of a judicial system, since the average citizen is neither a judge nor an advocate and does not usually spend much time in a classroom. Why does Moses make this so central? It's a great way of asking the question. Not every one of us will be in a situation where verses 16 and 17 of the first chapter of Deuteronomy is applicable. So why emphasize it? Why put it so centrally? This is Rabbi Telushkin's answer. And I ask you to open your hearts to what he's saying. It's very important to us, especially these days. Perhaps it is because, Rabbi Telushkin says, people's perceptions of society's justice or lack thereof is so heavily influenced by its legal rulings. What we believe about our society is so influenced by what we see judges do, what we see our leaders do. He writes, the number of Soviet citizens sentenced to jail for dissident activities in the Soviet Union in the 1970s represented an infinitesimally small percentage of the population, but it was the unjustly sentenced prisoners of conscience that caused people throughout the world to see the Soviet Union as an unjust society. So he writes, he closes this comment on myjewishlearning.com, where I hope that you spend some time. He said, and so, as the Jews prepare to establish their state, by which he means before we cross the Jordan with Joshua, Moses' successor, Moses reminds them that a just society starts with equal justice before the law. It's good to hear this. It's good to be reminded of this. It's good to know that Moshe knew how important it was. It's good for our leaders to know that we watch. We are watching. It's good for us as we make our decisions to know that even those too young to vote, at least in the United States, are watching what society does And that means that the future of society is based on those making decisions today. We can do something about that. Again, that's what a constitutional democracy is all about. And equal justice under the law is not a political comment that is outside of Torah. As you see, it's verses 16 and 17 of the book of Deuteronomy. And so, whereas we try, and it's a good kind of balanced dance that we try, to remain outside of partisanship when we talk Torah and when we have Jewish communal conversations, partisanship is not what the Torah points to, not ever. But politics are the way that we treat each other and the society that we build. It's the art of being human, not the art of power. It's the art of being human. Moshe is concerned that when we take our first steps as a people, we might not remember that. So let's remember that. If you have some time this week, I hope that you'll look at the opening chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, of Devarim, Perek Aleph. Because if you do that, and again I hope you will, you'll see what was central in Moshe's heart. Those were not easy times. These are not easy times. What an important thing for us to consider very deeply, how we perceive society and what we can do to elevate not just the perception, but the reality. So let's take a breath, because we have to send our hearts. If these chapters, if these verses are reminding us to take care of the most vulnerable, those whose voices need protecting, then what of those voices that haven't been heard in 664 days? Our beloved 50. Let's pray for them. Send your hearts to the east and sing with me. Kol hod balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Virushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.